I'm Tyler.
I'm Shorty.
I'm Ava.
I'm Miles.
I'm Kara.
Yo, this is Reno.
Hello, I'm Brandy.
They call me Pride Slayer.
I'm Bon Manuel.
And we are the Inner Idiot.
Podcast you're about to listen to has crude language, violence, and other things you probably shouldn't let your children listen to. Please enjoy.
Drop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, because it ain't wet from sweating. We ain't done yet. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about today, people, but welcome to Inner Idiot Podcast. We'll figure it out as we go, because we're winging it. I feel like we wing it a lot lately, and that's okay. I am your host, that one guy, Ty, the big, the bald, the beautiful, the brash, the bumbling, and the oftentimes bastardly MC Tyler Havlin. I talk slow, and I walk slower. Can you woo today?
Barely.
It's still an unenthusiastic
It's
woo?
still an unenthusiastic woo.
All right, 2 claps and an unenthusiastic woo for me. Woo.
Woo. I feel like this goes pretty good in tune with Men's Mental Health Month. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Unenthusiastic.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Hey, when you tag people on Facebook, do you put in like tag everyone, tag at followers, at everyone, at...
I don't like to use the tag very often just because it...
What is it, Ty?
What do you mean?
What is it, though? Is it at everyone, or at followers?
I think it's at followers or at highlight. But, yeah, I try not to abuse the tag. Because everybody does get pinged when we do that. And, today we don't know what the fuck we're talking about anyway. So if you're in the comment section today and you want to give us an idea, you may feel free. Are we public today?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, he is I haven't even introduced you yet. Look at me, man. Struggling. He is the Lord that's never bored, the commander of the comic books. He's still getting his voice, but he'll still make your panties moist. His nipples are aggressive as can be, as always. He is the commander of the comic books. I probably already said that. He ain't got a shirt on. That's just for you ladies. 2 claps and a Ric Flair for...
Ooh, no, we can't say that.
2 claps and an unenthusiastic
we
woo
go.
for Lord Shorty Fresh in the flesh.
Woo.
That's going to take a lot of getting used to. Because for 200 episodes, we talked about that fuck nut.
Yeah, we did talk about that fuck nut.
And now we're not supposed to. So, you and your people...
I feel like that means we made it. You know what I mean? Like we're finally in the upper echelon of content creators because we got a cease and desist letter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's how I'm taking it.
So that worked out great for us.
That is exactly how I'm taking it. But it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. This is our last episode of the month for it. And there is something that I've been thinking about, and it's something that men got to be better about. All right? And that's our O faces. And hear me out. And this is a safe...
And here I was thinking this was mental health, not fucking physical.
And this is a safety concern in all actuality. Okay? Because look, I'm going to tell you now, I feel like my O face, I look like a white Michael Jordan. Like my tongue's hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Or like I look angry. I don't know. Like we look weird when it's time. But what if...
I'm going to have to run a survey.
What if you have somebody on top of you and they're just going to town, right? And you stroke out. You have a stroke. And instead of stopping and being like, oh my God, are you okay?
This motherfucker's doing so good.
They think that they're just rocking your world because our O faces are that horrible. You know? Then
what
you
if
just
the-
die.
what if your
Death
O-
by snoo-snoo. Death by snoo-snoo stroke.
I don't understand the problem here.
What
What the issue is, dog?
Okay. But chances are you could sleep with that person again. Okay? So instead of death by snoo-snoo stroke, they resuscitate you or call the proper authorities to resuscitate you and take care of you. And then once you're taken care of, you get to snoo-snoo again. But no, this time you snoo-snoo stroke, you're dead. You're unalived. And then you never get to snoo-snoo again.
Death by snoo-snoo. It's the way to be, dog.
I mean, how... Look, I'm just saying if death by snoo-snoo is how I go, I want it said at my funeral.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what's gonna.
He had a stroke, and it was the good kind.
He did what he loved.
That's right.
Getting fucked.
He went out the same way he came in.
Fucked.
Vagina. Hey, can I see your flagina?
What?
Can I see your flagina?
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what a flagina is?
Flagina?
Yeah, a flagina.
No.
It's this. That's your flagina. And it's the webbing between your thumb and your index finger.
I don't believe you.
That's a flagina. It is. Google that shit, all right? Isn't it fitting that when you masturbate, you're using a flagina? And then, of course, the spot on your elbow is called your weenus.
The weenus.
The weenus. So weenus and flagina. Yeah, so fellas.
So, okay, so hold on. It's
FLAGINA.
No. I'm not typing that in. The webbing between your fingers is called a syndactyly. Yep, we're going to go with that. But let's go with
Google flagina. Do it.
No. Thumb and forefinger.
You're going to find it.
Nope. It's not it.
Just Google the word.
No. Fuck your Urban Dictionary bullshit. That's not what we're doing here. I don't believe in the Urban Dictionary because it's fucking retarded.
All right, will you agree that the skin on your elbow is a weenus?
Yes.
Okay, it is in that same classification of definitions because that is not the medical term. Weenus is not the medical term. It's not. Flagina and weenus are in the same class. Do you need glasses?
The weenus or wheens
Wheens.
is a slang word for the excess.
Slang word.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. My apology.
Hey, get a soundbite of that.
What? I'm sorry. My bad.
You're right.
Oh, I say that frequently, I would think. I feel like it's not out of the realm of ordinary.
I don't know. It doesn't happen very often.
I don't mind. What is a vagina?
A what?
It's here. So what is a vagina?
A vagina?
A vagina. It's passes leading from the opening of the vulva and cervix. It's just vagina.
Yeah. So
Well, why has a W on there?
I don't know, but you need to look up flagina so you know that.
Flagina.
Yeah, FLA.
FLA.
Gina.
Gina.
And you'll see.
An awkward piece of skin between your thumb and pointer finger. Okay.
Told you.
I'm not. You're goofy.
Hey, man, these things happen. Anyways, so we've discussed our O faces. We've discussed the flagina and the weenus. Do we move on to mental health?
We should.
Since this is.
We should.
And I guess we were talking off air about making lasting friendships.
Yeah.
And classifications of friendships. So I say that I have a lot of teddy bear friends or collectible friends. Right?
Collectible friends?
Yeah, collectibles.
Okay.
Right? You don't play with collectibles, so we can't call it that either.
No.
No, a book friends? I don't fucking know. I got a lot of friends that will sit on the shelf. Hey, Rosemary, welcome to the show. That sit on the shelf that I will take off the shelf and I'll play with them for a little bit, then they go back on the shelf. And then the next time I take them off the shelf, it's nothing ever happened.
So let's not say collectible friends.
Yeah.
Let's say book friends.
You put them on the bookshelf. Okay.
You put them on the bookshelf.
They're
And
mine.
occasionally you might, you know what? I want to reread this book.
Yeah.
And you pull it off and you read it or whatever, and that's it. And then I would say, I would classify my friends that I hold to a higher degree as collectible friends. These are people, that I admire. They're people that I enjoy looking at. These are the things that I'm willing to sink my time, energy, and money into. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they are my collectibles,
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I've come to realize the older I get and the more I learn about myself and my conditions with mental health, ADHD, and in particular, is that it's a real thing for us to not have a whole lot of deep, lasting friendships. because we mask a lot, and that becomes exhausting,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you'll see when we're off air, I'm much more quiet most of the time.
I don't necessarily think you're quiet because you and I mean, we just had a conversation for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Roughly. And not one point in time was there a lull in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was very consistent. It was very back and forth. I say a sentence, you say a sentence, blah, 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 blah. It was, so I wouldn't necessarily say you're quiet. I would just say the guise of, the inner idiot Tyler, goofy, is down. Like,
Right.
you still occasionally say some goofy shit, but it's not nearly as drastic as, there's echo on a feedback. Why?
I don't know. I have no clue where the echo is.
Desktop audio. Ooh,
Is that what it
Yank.
was?
I bet it is. There we go.
But that won't come through on Audacity, right?
It shouldn't. No.
All right, we're good then.
Hopefully that works.
Audio
Thanks, Rosemary.
fixed.
But no, like, I would say that the goofiness is down when we're off air and whatever. We have a very good, deep conversation.
Right. Now here's the problem with me is I don't know which one is my mask. You know what I mean? Because when we're on the show, I feel like I'm more authentic, even though not everything I say is true on the show, and this is something we discussed. Because we had discussed doing, questions about who knows who's better, and you said,
I hear a lot of things you say, and I know a lot of things about you, but I don't know what is 100% fucking true because of some of the silly shit. And because even though we do this show by ourselves 99% of the time, we don't have a lot of just singular interactions where we discuss life and our problems or whatever,
Right.
or funny things that happen to us. Because most of the funny things that happen to us are on the air like this. Thanks, Rosemary. But I had you stick to your guns about some of the silly shit, even off air, that it's difficult for me to I don't know what's legit and what's not. What's a bit? What is a joke? And, earlier you divulged to me, well, I knew it was a joke, but you were like, yeah, this is, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
You got to
I'm not
live
going to
wonder.
say it. I'm not going to say it. But you told me, you're like, yeah, that's a joke. I'm like, yeah, I knew that one. But
It's not eating butt. I do eat butt.
yeah, he eats ass.
Um,
That's why his breath stank.
Why does your breath smell like a fart? No, but the problem is, and this is, I guess we have stumbled onto a good mental health thing here, is I don't know which one of me is the mask. Because sometimes in public, I am very quiet. You've seen that. And then sometimes we go out in public and, I'm the life of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which one exhausts me more. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't know. And this feels really weird to say because I don't know that I've ever verbalized this until right this second.
Good. Hit me with it, Ty.
Is I don't know which one of those is me.
Sure.
Is the real me.
Mm-hmm.
Are they both me? Is which one is the mask?
I feel like, growing up, we are taught to have masks, and we're taught to put them on. With growing up with your parents, at home, you're allowed to be a certain way. You're allowed to do and say certain things.
I was allowed to do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Okay.
So my parents aren't exactly the best.
Well, hold on. Follow me on this if you
Okay,
will.
I'll follow.
But okay, we're gonna go. You're like a douche nugget.
Following.
Shut up. But if you were to go to say, okay, for me, for example, I could act a certain way here at home, do whatever I wanted. But if we went to church, I had to act a certain way. I had to put on a mask. If we went out to the grocery store or if I went to school, I had different masks.
Right.
Hey, Zach's in Germany. Congratulations, Zach, on just getting married.
Hey. How do you say hi in German?
Hello.
Hello. Hello at your boy.
But you see what I'm saying is
Yeah.
everywhere we go, we have different masks that we have to put on.
Right.
You know, whether that be work, school, for some people, church, whatever it is. You know, here, for instance, you know, you wear a mask of some kind. But as we grow up, learning that a lot of those masks aren't needed and you can just be yourself, I think becomes the tricky part because it's so ingrained into us that we have to be a certain way at a certain place.
I feel like you get the most authentic representation of my personality on the show.
Sure.
And I feel like when I'm quiet, it's because I have too many intrusive thoughts going on.
Do you ever think it might be like your stage fright being active even outside in the regular world?
I don't know if it's that as so much as if I'm quiet around people, it's a multitude of reasons. One, I'm overwhelmed, which happens easy. The least bit of stimulus can overwhelm me, but at the same time, I thrive in too much stimuli.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's where my condition is very weird because I don't handle small tasks well, but I handle big tasks well. If something's important, it's not going to get done. If something's urgent, it's going to get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very weird contradictory thing to have going on inside of me at all times. You know what I mean? And it makes me wonder, like, which one is the closest thing to real? I'm not about to cry. My voice was just cracking.
It's okay for you to cry if you need to, buddy.
I'm good. I'm not going to cry. I don't think. No, I did almost cry at the doctor from laughing though. Except when she started asking me the depression screening. Then I started like, oh, this lady really cares. And I felt it tugging.
Yeah.
Right? She was in my inside so hard, so deep. But like I wonder which one's the real me. Which was like sometimes, because masking is a big thing, I wonder which is the mask and where does the mask end and Tyler start? And that is something that I guess recently, and especially this month, because I have put a lot more thought into mental health this month, and it is something that has weighed on me a lot. Like, where do I end and Showman Tyler begin? Where does Showman Tyler end and Real Tyler begin? Or is Showman Tyler Real Tyler? Because I let all my intrusive thoughts out on this motherfucker. But sometimes in the real world, I keep them in.
And that's probably for a good thing because I've seen you drop your pants.
You have seen me drop my... Most people that have spent any significant amount of time around me have seen me drop my pants. This happens, dude. I used to do naked snow angels all the time. And I used to ride a scooter naked down through a neighborhood all the time. Just zooming through. Yeah. I'm not very good at riding a scooter either. So it was actually extra funny.
No, I don't necessarily think. And in all seriousness, I think it's spread seed all over a lawn.
Thomas, he has seen me spread seed all over a lawn. Thomas, I have a question for you if you're still on in the comment section. Were you still working at Scott's when I blew my dick up?
Oh, this is a fella who worked with you back then.
Yes, he worked with me, and I feel like he was there when this happened.
Interesting.
I don't know how many people at the office knew what had happened, but I blew my dick up. And we've told the story on air, so I don't need to tell it again, but yeah. Yeah, Thomas was a big part of me spreading seed all over the lawn for a while, weren't you, Thomas?
No, in all seriousness, like, you know, I put on a mask for this show because I'm not nearly as goofy, I would say. Now, there are times, he said he missed it, but there are times in which I am goofy out in the real world or whatever, but a lot of times I'm very
Reserved
or whatever. And in truthfulness, I would say I'm more I am more offensive off the show. Like, a lot of my humor is more offensive to the general populace.
Yes.
So I don't say it on here to appease you and make sure the show stays like going and hopefully growing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to diminish us. Now sometimes I just can't help it. Ty.
Yeah, I know you can't. It happens. Sometimes the intrusive thoughts win.
Shalom.
The intrusive thoughts always win for me, though. Like, they always win. I got sent this thing by my sister the other day, and it was about intrusive thoughts. And it was this lady video recording on vacation. She's sitting there with her daughter, right? And the daughter points at this lady sitting on a cliff. It's over the water, like it's nothing. And she says, "Mommy, somebody should push her and go, woo!" And the mom was like, "That's called an intrusive thought, and we don't say those things."
Yeah.
And I replied with, "No, we say all of them." Yeah. Me saying my intrusive thoughts makes sure I don't do them.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. I'm not gonna suppress that shit. I'm a grown ass child. You know?
Yeah. No, I feel you, bro.
I gotta get that shit out somehow, so better say it than do it.
Better to say it than spray it. Is that the kind of thing we're going with?
Hey, Thomas says you were in a wedding he did. And was it just a week ago?
No, because I did that one.
No, he was probably a photographer there.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to see your face, bro. My apologies.
He is a bearded man just like yourself.
We had a
short
fan. We had a fan at Zach's wedding.
Did we?
Oh yeah, Mike and Catherine. Yeah. Two of my good friends. Oswin. He's my buddy. He's my pal.
Thomas Jordan, he's good. He's good people. Thomas, why don't you do me a favor and drop your photography thing in the comments here for people to see. He's a really good photographer. Drop it in there. People can check it out.
Yeah, he was good. It was a lot of fun. Those were some of my favorite wedding photos I did, and it was funny because like everybody was like really beholden on like acting professional and shit like that. And I was giving the guys at Zach's wedding a lot of shit. Like, act like you fucking love each other, guys. Like, do something goofy, do something silly. Oh no, and I'll get the fuck out of here.
You know why? It's because you still had a shirt on.
I still did goofy shit.
Yeah, but other people can't until your shirt comes off.
Well, by the time that happened, everybody was drunk. That's how I got my shirt off.
And let me tell you this. Speaking of you shirtless, I'm this close to knowing how to read Braille.
Is that right?
I'm getting close, man.
Yeah.
It's almost time to see what the nipples say.
You know, it's funny.
What the nipples say, though.
But Bonbon Manuel said he's going to take one of the nipples if I get them removed.
As long as I get to read it first, we're good.
You can have the other
I don't
one.
need to have it. I don't need to frame
You don't want a
your
memento
nipple.
of your buddy?
I have my buddy, though.
But what about like, man, like...
What do I need your nipples for if I got you, homie?
But what about when you're like at home alone and I'm at work? You're like, man, I really miss Shorty. You just go over and grab your old nipple jar and just hold it close and dear to your heart.
All right, but let's. Do you really want me to have them? Because look, this could happen. What if one
You
night?
get one. Automitis gets the
What
other.
if I'm feeling a little frisky and I'm like, you know what, man? I ain't touched a breast in a while.
That's weird.
Let me just.
That's weird. That's super weird.
Let me caress this nipple, and it does something to me. Then what? Then our friendship is just weird from that point. You're never gonna go camping with me at that point, right?
What if you touch it? I feel it.
Wow. Well, yeah. That is. Oh, hi, Maggie. Maggie Casey is watching. Maggie Casey is watching. Oh, man. Hey, I'm really sorry I couldn't make it to your wedding, fam. Trust me, it bothered me.
What did I say that I need to be careful for? What did I do? What did I say?
I don't know. You were talking about the wedding? I don't know.
Everybody was drunk when I took my shirt off, and everybody was fine with it. We asked. We got permission. Seriously, we did.
She said be afraid. Be very afraid. I am afraid. Look. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to stay live for the whole episode today, people. So if you want to stick around, go ahead, hit the button. We're going to pause it for a second. Did you hit the button? Hit the fucking button. And we're back on Internet Idiot Podcast where we're just winging it today, people. I don't know. We're learning. We're growing. Shit like that, and not our waistlines.
Yeah.
Mine's shrinking finally.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah, you're not a piece of shit anymore, Tyler.
If I lose, I found this out over the weekend because I was down at my mom and dad's house. If I lose 7 more pounds, I will be the same weight I was when I was 16 years old.
That's kind of funny because you're the same height too, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, 16.
I will be the same person.
But you had dreads back then, right? And less of a beard?
I got to do it again, I guess.
I guess you got to do it again, man.
I did have less of a beard. It wasn't nearly as majestic.
I don't ever want to see you shave your beard.
I won't.
I've seen the other people in your family without facial hair, so I have a good feeling what you'd look like. I like you with a beard. I mean, you'd still be shorty fresh in the flesh, but
that's why I won't quit smoking. They said they put on 60 pounds.
Bro, I feel it, Kenny. I feel it. When I quit smoking, well, I had a shoulder surgery earlier. I put on more than 60, but we're trying to get rid of it now. Good to see you in the comments, Kenny. Yeah, where were we when we left off on the first segment? I don't even remember.
We were talking about intrusive thoughts and you letting them fucking take over or not letting them take over. This is where you let it shine.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, but being a grown man-child, that's right. But let's move on from ADHD because, I can only focus on one thing for so long.
Right.
And I had an idea of where I wanted this second segment to go, and intrusive thoughts took over, and now I don't remember. So let's talk about some intrusive thoughts that you have without getting us canceled.
The only intrusive thoughts I have are mostly like, hey, I'm going to go build this real quick.
And you build some dope shit.
Yeah. And then there's also things that I do. See, like, here we're getting into the part of, like, hey, without getting us canceled, is like shit that I say to my bosses that I probably shouldn't say.
Yeah, we're going to leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Because I know what some of that stuff is.
Yeah. And it's funny. And, like, the best part is everybody in the room except for my boss laugh. So, I think
it's not your fault they don't have a sense of humor.
That's what I said. Probably genetics or whatever, because they say Germans don't have good senses of humor. But they killed all the Jewish writers. Of course, they don't know how to laugh at things.
God,
that's the truth.
It is. It is.
That's not an intrusive thought. That's a truthful thought.
I guess so. Zach said they really don't.
I'm one of the few.
They say do not touch. That is absolutely 100% correct. If you want something touched, thank you for saying this, Maggie, because this is something I've fucking held on to forever. If you want something touched, the quickest way to have something touched is put a sign next to it that says do not touch. Mm-hmm. All right? So just put a little sign right there around your navel with an arrow pointing down that says do not touch. And everybody will touch your pee-pee, shorty. Everybody.
What if I don't want everybody to touch my pee-pee?
How much of the population do you want to touch your pee-pee?
Let's see. We'll say roughly half of the population is women. So hold on.
50% is eliminated already.
Yep, 50% gown. And, there's like, I would say a solid, I don't know, 1 in 4 women, 69%. Shut up, Zach. I would say there's a solid 1 in 4 women that aren't allowed to touch it. So there's another 25% gone.
Okay, so that's pretty close to 69%. That's only 6% off.
That's
75. We're at.
That's
70.
how many people I don't want to touch my penis. Is that what you're saying, or how many people I do want to touch my penis?
That's how many people you don't. So we're at 25% of the population is allowed to touch your pee-pee. 1 in 4 people.
Yeah. So I would say, sure, 1 in 4 women. Let's get hyper specific.
You said 3 of 4 women can. Because you said 1 in 4 women you don't want.
Yes. Okay. So three out of 4 women are allowed to touch my penis.
That's a lot of women, dude.
Huh?
I feel like I'm pickier.
And here I am yet, starving in an ocean.
Starving in the ocean. Because I feel like only, and I'm gonna base this off of my swipe rate. Because I have counted my swipe rate before. And I swipe left. It probably takes me about 40 left swipes before I hit a right swipe.
Now, are you swiping on just looks alone?
No, I read the profile. So
Okay.
here's the thing. Here is when it comes to
Now, see, here's the difference. Because there's a slew of women I will let touch my weenie, but, like, I would never attempt to date them. And when I was using dating apps or whatever, that was my intention. Like, I'm going to read the profile. I'm going to see what they got going on. You know, let's hope for something nice here. And, like, I never swiped on women that I'm like, nope. Like, I don't think we would get along personally. I would swipe the other direction. So, like, but would I want them to touch my penis?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, here is my breakdown.
So, like, your swipe rate, I don't necessarily know if it could go with. Unless, if that's your same line of thinking, then I'm here for it, Ty. Your swipe rate be accurate. But other than that, no dice up slice.
Here's my thought process on when I would come across a dating profile. I look at the picture first. Obviously, I am a man. I'm a visual creature. Okay, so if they pass the eye test, the first eye test, the next thing in the profile is their bio. I read their bio.
Yep.
If it says I am like, first of all, if you have to tell me that your kids come first, they probably don't, and I don't want it. Okay?
Yeah.
If you have kids, I'm going to expect them to come first. Right? I don't need you to tell me that because I'm not going to tell you that my kids come first. I don't need to.
It's also that same light where it's like, if I say I'm a good, you know, if you say you're a good mom, chances are you're not.
Right.
Because only bad moms say they're good moms. You know what I mean? Now, I know people who say, I want to be a good mom. That is totally different.
I know one exception to this rule.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's read this comment. Last night at do we want to?
Last night at VBS, there was a story of Queen Esther and her saving her people. Someone brought in German cookies and tasted all chemically. Coincidence? Haha, that's funny.
All right.
No,
so I do know one that is the exception to the rule, but there is a reason for it, and that reason in itself is annoying as fuck. So I won't bring that up too much. I just wanted you to know that I do know one exception to that rule. Who will claim to be a good mother, and they are a good mother.
Okay.
But that's because they can't give anybody credit but themselves. So that in itself is a problem.
Sure.
All
but
right.
it's more or less the, like, I'm trying to be, like, I'm all down about women and whatever, saying I'm trying to be a good mom.
Yeah.
Whatever, like, I'm here for it. Like,
Yeah, for
you're
sure.
100%, like, no doubt. And, like, women who consistently be like, dude, I'm, like, struggling and I think I'm doing I'm being a bad mom or whatever. Like, I know tons of single mothers or even, mothers in successful couples, relationships or whatever, sitting there, like, pouting, like, I think I'm doing a bad job. I think I'm being a bad mom.
Those are typically the best moms.
Yes, exactly right. Like,
Shout out to all the moms that think they're not doing a good job. You probably are doing a good job.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I read the bio, and then if they pass the bio test, I see what they're looking for. And if they're not looking for the same thing as me, that doesn't disqualify them.
sure.
Because, I'm not set in stone.
I'm flexible.
And then I look at their other pictures and the answer to their questions prompted. Now, typically, if somebody doesn't have a bio, I'm passing on them anyways. I don't care how hot they are. If you can't fucking say a few words, then I know your fucking conversation skills are going to be that of a fucking toaster oven. And they only know one word. Ding! But that was an intrusive thought, my guy. Except our mom. She's about you do have a dope mom. And she's a grandma. Maybe I should hit her up. How would you feel?
My mom and dad are very happily married.
Is it? But like,
Very
is
happily
the,
married,
Is the door?
Tyler.
Is the door open?
No,
Like,
because the coffin's not shut.
all right, I'm not gonna speak this into existence. So
Yeah, you don't speak ill of my folks.
I'm not speaking ill. I'm just saying. Like,
I don't give a fuck.
I'd take your mom out to dinner, bro.
Huh? She wouldn't do it.
Just I take.
You're
your
a
mom
bad
out.
person, Ty.
I mean, your dad can be there too.
Huh?
One happy family.
No.
Stay away from my mother. I'm gonna stay away from your mother. I jest. I kid. I joke.
A kid at Taco Bell?
A kid at Taco Bell. Yeah. Look, I don't know where this episode's going.
You
I
were
don't-
talking about, like, okay, you hit the profile, they ain't got no bio, you're not swiping right or whatever, no matter how hot stay is.
Right. No, don't get me wrong. There have been times when I have broken that rule because sometimes you'll look at somebody and
You're too good to be true. Let's see how this goes.
no, not necessarily that, but there's just something about the aura they give off. Even though it's just a picture on the internet, there's something about them. You're like, you know what? Maybe it's their eyes. Maybe it's they don't have a huge forehead. I don't know. Something about them grabs you.
Okay.
Look, there are things that will
How big is your forehead, Ty?
My forehead doesn't stop, dude. That's all it is forehead.
Okay, just
I don't have
curious.
hair.
Just curious. I was wondering where you considered your forehead to end. You know what I mean? And you're
Back here.
Oh,
I swiped right on everybody, and I got married to Maggie that way. That is a hell of a strategy, dude. You shouldn't put that out there, Maggie.
chances are he's told Maggie. Chances are he told her that on the fucking first date.
You were the only one to swipe right back.
We need to get both of these fuckers on here.
Yeah, Maggie and Zach, if you guys would like to come on the show when you come back from your honeymoon, we would love to have you both. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But
Your
yeah,
honeymoon, your marriage, your relationship.
I look up to you guys. I really do, man. Zach and Maggie,
I
you're
do for other
wonderful people.
reasons.
Because they're taller than you.
She told me to.
She told me, Maggie, you're a good woman. You're so lucky to have her, Zach. I hate telling people that.
What?
That I hate telling a guy, oh, she's down. Breaking news, we're going to have Zach and Maggie on the show. I hate telling a dude that he's lucky to have a certain woman because I feel like it's always misconstrued. Because a lot of times when a guy says to another man, hey, you're lucky to have her, it usually means that they want her. Right?
Yes and no. I don't think that is consistent.
I say it genuinely to you, Zach, though. You guys are awesome. Maggie is lucky to have you as well. You guys are perfect together. But yeah, no, that's like, to me, when I see somebody that I know is not like a stand-up dude and he says that to somebody, it's like, nah, he just said that because he wants to fuck your old lady, dude.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, there's been times where it's like, God bless. Like I've told dudes, I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you pulled it off. Like, you a lucky motherfucker because you shouldn't have.
You know, I've gotten that a lot.
I believe
in my
you.
life.
I believe you.
How did you get that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I made her laugh.
Yeah. Because she's stupid and I'm funny.
And
That's all it took.
And the last time I said that about a person, they cried.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yes. And it was on this show.
Really?
Yeah. That was an interesting conversation when I got home from that one. Who is the only... All right. Moving on. You know what? That's all we got for today.
This is only 13 minutes. The first one was 24. Well, that's about a half hour. You're right.
Yeah.
We're hitting our time marker. All right, gang.
Yeah. So in the meantime...
In the betweens time...
Remember, great minds think alike, idiots rarely disagree. I almost...
To find out what happens next time on the internet, tune in next week at, whatever time.
Whatever time.
The inner idiot.
Whatever time you like.
The Z Fighters finally fight Frieza.
Cue the music, we out.